So why is Kobe beef so expensive and so sought after, yet when I think of my local bar or tavern, there's a Kobe beef burger on the menu? I think you can probably think of a time when you saw like a Kobe beef burger on the menu at a kind of not so great restaurant. What's going on here? Well, the answer is you're being lied to. That ain't Kobe beef that they're actually serving you on that burger. What you're getting is actually a watered down, lesser version of Kobe beef. In fact, we should probably call it DeMar DeRozan beef, if anything. So that's why I am here live at Alexander's Steakhouse, one of 9 restaurants in the entire United States that actually sells real Kobe beef, or we should actually call it Wagyu beef, because there are a ton of misconceptions about it. So in this video today, we're going to talk about what is Kobe beef or Wagyu beef, why is it so expensive, why is it so sought after, what does it taste like, and is it worth it? Hey, welcome back to another Is It Worth It luxury review, where I look at expensive things and tell you if it's worth it or not. Today we're talking about Kobe beef, also known as Wagyu beef, probably better known as Wagyu beef. And well, I've actually had Wagyu beef in Japan before, but I want to show you guys on camera what it's like for someone to have it for the very first time. So that's why I've enlisted the help of my friend Dom here. Say hi, Dom. That's actually not my friend Dom. This is my friend Dom. Say hi, Dom. I brought Dom along because Dom actually builds robots for a living. That robot is actually something he's designed and built. And what does that have to do with Wagyu beef? It has absolutely nothing to do with Wagyu beef, but I thought it'd be fun to just tell you guys he builds robots, because robots are cool. All right, let's get to it.
Hi. Oh, hi.
So before we get to the restaurant, there's a lot of misconceptions I want to clear up, because as I mentioned, a lot of these restaurants are lying to you, and well, there's just a lot of misinformation out there when it comes to Kobe or Wagyu beef. First thing we should probably clear up is, well, what should we call it? What is this super expensive meat, and why do a lot of people call it Kobe beef and a lot of people call it Wagyu beef? Well, the answer is Kobe is just a region from which you can get Wagyu beef. Really, Wagyu beef is what everyone's talking about when they talk about the luxurious, fatty, delicious beef. Kobe is just a region it comes from. It's a state in Japan, so to speak. Another way to think of it is the champagne analogy. Not all sparkling wine is champagne, but in order to be champagne, it needs to be from the Champagne region of France. So not all Wagyu is Kobe, but in order to be Kobe beef, it needs to be from the Kobe region of Japan. What is Wagyu beef? What makes something a Wagyu cut or a Wagyu cow? The answer is fat. Wagyu is just extremely fatty beef, and the reason why it tastes so good is, well, flavor comes from fat. Things that are really fatty taste really good. Whether it's with cows and Wagyu or with fish and you're talking about toro, the more fat you have, the more flavorful it tends to be. So when you look at Wagyu beef, you'll notice this incredible marbling to the point where the beef almost looks pinkish because there's so much white fat content in it. If you look at a regular cut of steak from like your local supermarket, it's going to be really red with a little bit of marbling. This thing is almost more marbling and just a little bit of red. So one of the crazy things about Wagyu, and one of the fun things about Wagyu, is a lot of it's genetics. So there's actually a family tree of these Japanese cows, almost an obese family tree of cows that they've been tracking for years that meet this Wagyu standard. So how do they know they're going to get really good Wagyu beef? Well, it's all in the genetics. So this means you can actually track the bloodline of the cow you're eating, if it's a real Wagyu cow, all the way back to kind of that obese godfather cow that originated everything. I don't know if that adds to the flavor or anything, but you know, it's cool. I think one thing you're also wondering is, why the hell is Kobe beef or Wagyu beef so expensive? There's a few reasons why. One, the care for these cows is incredible. There's a lot of myths out there about like the cows listen to music, or they're massaged, or they're fed beer. None of that's been proven to actually result in real Wagyu cows. So it's not really because of that. It's just that the general care is fantastic for these cows. The other reason for the price is scarcity. Not all cows are automatically Wagyu cows if they're from this bloodline. Only the top tier cows from the bloodline get to be Wagyu cows. So that's the best of the best. So maybe you're thinking, great, I want to try this Wagyu. You've convinced me, Andrew, to eat this obese cow beef. How do I do that? Well, it's not so simple. almost all of the real certified Wagyu beef, and there's a committee that certifies it over in Japan, almost all of it stays within Japan. Very, very little of it reaches America. Actually, only 9 restaurants in America are licensed to sell the real deal stuff. So that means you only have 9 restaurants to choose from in America to get the real deal. In fact, even a 3 Michelin star restaurant, Le Bernardin, one of the best restaurants in the world, at one point I think it was considered the best restaurant in the world, Le Bernardin claimed to have Wagyu beef, and they actually got called out by it and had to change the menu, and it was kind of an embarrassment.
You'd think at Le Bernardin, one of New York City's most exclusive restaurants, the Kobe beef would be authentic. Check out this small Kobe beef lunch we ordered for $110. Later, we asked the manager to see their Kobe beef certification.
I am sure we have the certification, absolutely.
Can we see it?
I'm sure you can.
Do you want to go back there and bring it out and show us?
Absolutely.
He never came back. The owner called later to say they made a mistake and immediately changed the menu.
So what are you eating when you go to a restaurant and it says it has a Kobe burger or a Wagyu burger or just something like that? Well, you're eating the bastard child of a Wagyu cow. So a Wagyu cow in Japan that maybe is genetically linked to the Wagyu bloodline but wasn't good enough, wasn't fatty enough, will breed with an American Angus cow, and they will create this kind of bastard Wagyu cow that is really fatty and probably absolutely delicious, but probably closer to a ribeye and not actual real Wagyu. So Dom and I had a little strategy going into this meal. We knew 3 ounces was gonna cost $135, and well, we were just not gonna be full off of 3 ounces of beef. So we got a salad and some shishito peppers to start. We got a porterhouse and some sides to kind of fill up a little bit and get our mouth ready for the real action. And then we finished with the ultimate experience, the real Wagyu beef from Satsuma. And here's our reaction to how it went.
It's a little bigger than I expected.
It is way bigger than I expected, to be honest.
Alright, Dom's first bite of Wagyu incoming. Not really the biggest response.
No, it's fatty.
It's fatty.
Super fatty and rich, but it's good.
It's good?
It's definitely good.
Gotta get past it for that.
Oh, for sure. You like bite it into it and it kind of explodes a little bit in your mouth.
A nice morsel. It does explode in your mouth, yeah. The fat just drips out immediately. As soon as you take that first bite, fat just kind of drops out. And it's a really strong beefy flavor. So one thing that's kind of taken us by surprise here is we thought there's no way we're going to use these 3 salts they gave us down there. But, you know, $130 piece of steak, we're not going to add anything to it. But adding the salt actually did accentuate the flavor. It actually did make it better, which is shocking. So if you are planning on doing this on your own, I actually would suggest adding a little bit. They gave us a truffle salt and a sweet Hawaiian salt. Both of them taste really, really good with Kobe beef. Doesn't remove from the flavor at all. It actually adds to the flavor, surprisingly. I think one funny thing that we kind of noticed was as you chewed it, the first initial bites were amazing as the fat melted in your mouth. And it was just this amazing rush of flavor and beefiness. And then as the fat dissipated, you're kind of just chewing this leftover beef. It's a very weird phenomenon. Like the flavor disappears, but you're still kind of chewing it, almost like gum, if you will, where the flavor kind of dissipated and you're just kind of chewing the leftover remains. But obviously, the flavor is incredible.
Got a s'mores tartlet as an amuse-bouche dessert, as well as this massive pina colada cotton candy. I'll let you know how it is.
All right, so we're back at the parking lot where we originally met up to film our recap. It's been about 20 minutes. I think the fat has found its way through our system. Our minds are clear now. I can actually literally see the grease on my face from the fattiness. I don't see it on you, I only see it on me.
Experience.
Yeah, it's part of the experience. So for $135 for 3 ounces, would you say the Wagyu is worth it?
I would say worth it for every great once in a while.
I think that's a great way to phrase it. I think it's excellent. I think it's an experience you're never gonna get outside of trying that one kind of beef. You can't recreate that experience anywhere else, but it's not something I'd do very often. And for 135 bucks for only 3 ounces, you're not gonna be full. You know, we had to eat a porterhouse beforehand to fill up.
Had to.
Yeah, they had to. Would I rather do $65 for a ribeye? I think probably, yeah, most of the time it's better to get a ribeye for 65 bucks, 60 bucks. But again, this is something that you gotta try once. If you haven't tried it before, I heavily think you should try it. I heavily encourage you to try it. Only 9 restaurants in the United States to choose from, so make sure you go to a legit one and you're not going to like a steakhouse that's gonna lie to you. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you, Dom, for being in this video. You're welcome for me paying for that Wagyu. If you like videos like this, please subscribe. I really appreciate you watching these videos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. So Dom, what'd you think of the Wagyu? Don't walk away from me. Dom, come on. That's how ridiculous this is. Ridiculous.